Should Trump debate again?
Well, first of all, congratulations on the ratings for the special on confronting the presidents, Leland. Very good to see that. I would, if I were Donald Trump, debate Kamala Harris all day, every day. As long as she wanted to debate, I would debate her. But
so why isn't he doing it?
I found out something this weekend. Well, I don't know. I mean, what am I, Karnak the Magnificent? I can't read his mind. But I found out something interesting that might lend some perspective to that. So both campaigns at this point, with 6 weeks left, believe they're going to win. That's unusual. In 2016, the Clinton campaign believed she was going to win by a landslide. They rented the Javits Center in New York City for a big party, burning hundreds of thousands of dollars when she lost. The Trump campaign in 16, a lot of them thought they were going to lose. I didn't. I called the race 4 days ahead, and I saw some internal polling, and I called it correctly that Trump would win in 16. But now the Trump campaign thinks it's going to win based upon internal polling brought to them by Trafalgar Rasmussen. The poll you cited is only a 3-state poll, which was very unusual by the New York Times and Siena College. But a lot of strategy is now being made based upon what the campaigns believe will happen. I did learn one more thing, that both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are going to agree to be separately interviewed by 60 Minutes.
Yep.
Now, 60 Minutes isn't what it was under Mike Wallace and that tutelage, but it's still a very widely watched and prestigious program. So that will be it for Kamala Harris, because that will deflect all the other turndowns, including the Al Smith dinner. If you want to get into that, I'll be happy to do it in New York City. So we can expect in the days ahead to hear an announcement. Trump will take, I don't know who the correspondent would be at 60 Minutes for Trump. Can't be Leslie Stahl, because they're not
yeah, they got a long history. It's interesting you brought up the Al Smith dinner.
Go ahead.
I'm fascinated by it. The Al Smith dinner, you know, it's a charity dinner in New York for the Catholic Church. You often have the two people who are running for president, right? Obama, McCain did it. Obama, Romney did it. Trump and Clinton did it. And they stand there and they roast each other as a fundraiser. And it's sort of a couple of weeks before the election. It's this last sort of great vestige of tradition and of decency, fraternity, you might even say. For a group of people who so ardently talk about norms, what do you make of Kamala Harris being the first one to say, I'm not coming?
I don't make anything about it. I'll tell you exactly why she did it. Al Smith ran against Herbert Hoover in 1928, as you'll read about in Confronting the Presidents, not another plug. He got waxed by Hoover, who was the Commerce Secretary, and did very well in the great Mississippi River flood. And Americans liked Hoover. God was looking out for the first Catholic to run for president, Mr. Smith, because a year later, the Great Depression wiped out Herbert Hoover, and he could never recover from it. That would have happened to Smith. So the dinner, which I have attended, is set up to promote harmony, which is one of the pillars of Christianity. But it's impossible to create harmony when you have a candidate who promotes abortion. So Kamala Harris has made a career out of abortion all the time for any reason. And not only does she say this is what I believe, but she encourages it. She makes it noble. There are no restraints. Hard to yuck it up.
That's an interesting...
with a bunch
that's a
of Catholics in that kind of a situation.
All right, an interesting point. Great perspective, as there are many in the book. Really, it's still really one of my favorite books. Also from BillO'Reilly.com, the Talking Points memo. You said last week that Trump was mellowing his message, which I thought was an interesting thing, because you and I had been talking for weeks. Your advice to Donald Trump to be normal, to mellow. But over the past 2 days, Thursday and Saturday, here's first Donald Trump blaming the Jews if he loses the election, and then talking about women in Saturday's rally. Take a listen.
And I only want to be, so I'm not going to call this as a prediction, but in my opinion, the Jewish people would have a lot to do with the loss. It's only because of the Democrat hold or curse on you. You can't let this happen.
Women are poorer than they were 4 years ago, are less healthy than they were 4 years ago, are more stressed and depressed and unhappy than they were 4 years ago, and are less optimistic and confident in the future than they were just 4 years ago. I will fix all of that.
Since when did you win a woman's vote by telling her she was less healthy?
No, that's not what he did, and you know it, Leland. He's quoting the polls, and that's what the polls say. So I have no problem whatsoever with Trump using polling. He should cite the poll, okay, and describing how the common psychology of many American women is, in his opinion. That's fine. That's no problem. As far as the Jewish vote is concerned, it is a primarily liberal vote in America, always has been. But now you got a war brewing in the Middle East under a very weak Biden administration. So I don't think that was out of bounds at all for Donald Trump. That's how you campaign.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.